very few opportunities an individual will get in order to come in and start a school system. In the state of Wisconsin, it has been over 50 years since a school district was started. There have been many school districts which have been consolidated from existing school districts. However, this was the first district in many, many years that was started. It was a challenge to come in and develop a school system and put in the ideas and thoughts that I had what an educational institution should be like.
I worked with John as an administrator from day one of the school district, and I've watched it come together to grow under his leadership. And I don't believe there are many administrators who could do this, to do what he has done, because of the long, hard work that's involved in the long hours. So I would like to say, Waiwan and John, for helping us build our dream.
My name is John Tomasich. I'm the superintendent of the Menominee Indian School District. I have been superintendent since July 1, 1976, when the school was chartered by the State Superintendent of Public Instruction. The Menominee Indian School District at this point celebrated its 10th year last July. At the time that the Menominee Indian School District was being chartered and was beginning to become a reality, the tentative school board went looking for a superintendent. I was the assistant superintendent at the Shawano Gresham system. I had been in the area since August of 1961 and was asked by the committee if I would apply. That committee made a selection, and I began working on July 11th, 1976. A unique feature of that is that the Board of Education was not duly sworn in until July 24th, 1976. So in effect, I was hired by a Board of Education that did not have the authority, except that it was granted the authority by the Shawano Gresham School Board.
15 years ago and 14 years ago, when we wanted to have a school, we never thought we could have it. It was just a dream. And John is one of the people that made it reality. I worked with John for the last 8 years as a teacher here. He's kept me poor, but every year you could see another step in this plan that John had. You could see another step completed. And the difference between this school district today, at the end of the school year in 1987, and when I first started, is like night and day. And a lot of that credit goes to Mr. Tomasich, because he's a man of vision. And the superintendent of the school had to have vision.
At the time that we started the Menominee Indian School District, we had two priorities. The first priority was to start school. I indicated that the charter was July 1, and we were responsible to open school for the 1976-77 school year, which meant we had to be in operation at the end of August, giving us approximately 8 weeks to 10 weeks in which to hire staff, get additional facilities, get people in supplies and materials. After school started, the next priority was to begin to work on getting funds for permanent buildings. Going to school here was a very great adventure. You have to look back on the fact that in an elementary building, we had high school students. We had hallways that were narrow and crowded. We had classrooms that we had to divide into two in order to have enough classrooms for all of the subjects that we were to present in the high school. The junior high school was located at the old building known as St. Joseph's School that has since been torn down. It was like putting 10 pounds of flour in a 7-pound bag. We were just overcrowded, overloaded, and every day was an adventure, not only to the kids but the staff also.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Waka. I'm the school board president of the Menominee Indian School District. I was elected in 1985 and had the pleasure of working with John Thomas since then. As you can see, we have these nice, beautiful buildings. We have a new central office that's being built, and that's a tribute to John Thomasich and all the hard work he has given the school district. I got to know John very well. He is a wise man, a good money man. He has made the school district very, very healthy right now. There's a lot of school districts would like to be in our place.
We were funded through Public Law 8115, and also the district borrowed funds in order to build the Neopet Elementary School and the junior senior high school.
The architecture within the building shows just a respect for the culture, a respect for the people, and the love that John has put into the Menominee Indian School District. I think of John as the force behind the school district, almost the will behind the school district.
Getting the buildings in place had to be a priority, because without it we couldn't develop the programs that are necessary to carry on a school system.
I've known John for 11 years. I was hired by this district when it first started. I do believe that we appreciate him for his organization and his ability to get things going and buildings built and to keep things going. It's going to be really different without John as our leader.
We went into the school system with a curriculum that had to be based largely upon the textbooks. So as we progressed during the years, curriculum had to be developed. We had to develop a curriculum which met the needs of the youngsters here on the reservation. The Menominee Indian School District has a rather unique population in that 98% of the students are Native Americans, Indian children, most of them of Menominee heritage, although we do have a mixture. There's some Oneida, Stockbridge, and various other Indian tribal mixtures in there. So for the school district to become complete, we had to develop a curriculum that would meet those needs of the youngsters here. One of the other areas that we were concerned with was maintaining the culture and the heritage of the Menominee people. To that end, we developed the Menominee language. At the present time, the materials that we have here have been developed primarily within the school district.
I've worked with John in the district for the last 8 years. I've also dealt with him being a parent and a community member. And over those 8 years, I've seen the concern that he has had for our Menominee youth. I appreciate everything he's done. John never failed when he went through our building to stop in the office and have his daily joke or say hello to us with a smile. Over the years, I think our Menominee youth have appreciated everything that John has done for them.
In order to carry out the mandate of the community for maintaining the culture and the historical background, the district did establish and require the Menominee language program. We also have at the high school the drumming and singing, which is unique to the Menominee school. I think that the school song, which is led by the school drum, is unique in itself. I believe that as you look at the social studies curriculum, you'll find that we do have the tribal government that is discussed. We do have in the arts the cultural activities in terms of beading and other artwork. We have placed an emphasis on retaining the culture, and it has to be carried on. We looked at staff, and one of the things that the school district looked at was role models. Consequently, we make a preference of hiring Menominee teachers if they're qualified, Native Americans if they're qualified, to act as role models. This is not to the exclusion of non-Indian teachers. At the present time, we have approximately 18 Indian teachers, of which 17 are Menominee.
As a parent and community member, I've been privileged to see the growth of the Menominee Indian School District from its infancy, and I really like to thank a person that has been in part the driving force behind the development and implementation of our school district. And Mr. Tomasic has always been open for community members to come in here and request the use of the grounds or anything that's related to juveniles, to understand that some of the efforts, while not related to the school district, are community efforts.
As the community saw that the facilities were being developed and the curriculum was being developed, we received more and more support. I think that you need to look at our homecoming parade, our homecoming dance, in order to view and see the kind of final support we have at the present time. We anticipated that our first homecoming parade, which was celebrated along with our 10th year anniversary, would maybe have 5 or 6 or 7 units in it at the most. However, the day of the parade, the total community came out. There were 47 different kinds of floats and marchers, and you know, I had a very good feeling about it, because here the community itself turned out and said, hey, we support you. It was rather emotional. In fact, as I sat up on the stand and then watched the parade go by, tears came to my eyes, because it simply showed how much acceptance the school district had. I think as you look back and we broke ground for the Neopet School, the people that came, then we broke ground for the junior senior high school. Each step contributed to community support, and I think now the school district itself is a rallying point within the community.
I think the whole gist of the Menominee Indian School District, the new school district in the state of Wisconsin, we have so many resources here to use. The people from the community, from the various communities on the reservation, they have a lot to offer. You know, I think the Thunderbird Award program through the years has been one. You know, as a parent myself, my boy bringing home his Thunderbird Award, he was real proud of it, you know. And I think the school, the elementary school, is working well with the students and including the parents. That's an important thing, that the parents are a part of this. And it's sort of like a reward system. I'm not really in favor of that, but with this Thunderbird Award thing, you know, this is not a one-day thing. It's sort of a extended how they do through the year, you know, and I think it makes them better at getting along, functioning themselves. It's a real good program, I think.
I'm Bernadette Gauthier. I've been a teacher in this school district for 6.5 years, and ever since I've started working, John's been very supportive of anything the junior high students have endeavored in. He was always there, or had his support with whatever ideals we came up with, which was good for the students and the teachers all the way around. He always supported teacher and student relationships, field trips, activities, whatever he thought would be good for both of them.
When we look at the kinds of milestones that were accomplished during that time, our first student who graduated college, a youngster by the name of Dodge, Gary Dodge, That was a milestone. When we look at our forensics team going to state, when we looked at our one-act play going to state, our cross-country team going to state, and just recently, the basketball team having its finest season and winning 2 tournament games. The first graduating class in the bowl, and being able to hand out the diplomas for that first class is something that you continue to remember and won't forget. I think that the next kind of a milestone that we will see is having the first kindergarten class graduate in a couple of years. Those students will be the first students who have gone from kindergarten through the 12th grade, and that will be a milestone. Maybe at that point we're not going to be an old school district, but maybe we're going to get to be middle-aged. I think as we continue to progress, the newness of those things will pass and other milestones will come along. I think you'll see the school district looking further down the road, largely in terms of the academics. Because once we put the facilities and equipment in place we need then to improve the curriculum and the development of the kids, we need to bring their scores up. Okay, we need to develop that kind of talent, and that's where we need to look at in terms of other milestones as we're doing it now.
Looking back over all the changes that have taken place, Mr. Tomasich has been very instrumental, the main driving force behind getting this district on its feet and rolling it to the point where it is now. He's provided a lot of changes in terms of materials and programs for the students, the obvious new high school and new building at Neopit, the addition to the Kashina building, the new central office that's going up, the building programs to provide the physical facilities for us have been fantastic. But it's not just been limited to that. Programs, textbooks and materials, curriculum and other things. Mr. Tomasich has given the district the backbone, the driving force that it needs to have developed as it has. Things are rolling very smoothly. I'm sure the district's going to continue to grow, but it would not have been possible without someone like Mr. Tomasich to have provided the force and the strength that we needed to accomplish all of these items.
This has been a very interesting and rewarding experience. There are very few people who have the opportunity that I had in going into a school system and really establishing a school system. I think when I look back on it, the mechanics of it are one thing. You have to perform the duties of superintendent in terms of budget. You have to hire people, you have to have programs and so on. Beyond that, this school district created a challenge because everything that it became had to become.
He dreamed the big dream, and he made it come true. And for that, I give Mr. Tomasich all the credit in the world.
Okay, I have mixed emotions about my retirement. It's like watching your children grow up and leave home. In this case, it's watching the school district grow and leaving it, and I'm leaving home. I will be very proud of the accomplishments of the Menominee Indian School District after I retire. I will look upon the community with a very special place in my heart. I will look at the students as something that you don't forget. I would imagine the names will fade and some of the faces will fade, but I hope in time, 10, 15, 20 years from now, I still will be able to see those kids and they will say, we went to the best school there is.
Waiwanan Nemut Sapatis.
Waiwanan Nemut Sapatis.
Wawanan Nemut Sapatis.
Wawanan Nemut Sapatis.
Wawanan Namut Sapatis.
Wawanan Nemut Sapatis.
From the class of 1998, Wawanan Nemut Sapatis.